Hi everyone, good morning. This is Abby Lawson, and last night there was a training that I was listening to, and there was one little tidbit. It was a pretty long training, but there's a little tip that really helped me a lot, because when you're just getting going on the internet and you're doing internet marketing, maybe you have an MLM that you're involved with, you're in network marketing, whatever, you have a tendency to start doing an activity that is, the activity is to bring in leads, people that may be interested in what you have to offer. So you start doing that, and you do it for a day or two, and if it's a free activity, it's usually takes more work and more time. So you have to be just the kind of person that will get in there and do some heavy lifting just for a little while until things get going. It's not very long. And this happened to me, and I think it happens to a lot of people, and they just kind of they just stop doing that activity, and they put themselves into a really, really bad situation where all of a sudden they start doubting whether they can be effective, whether they can really do the business, and whether they can, make money. And so this is a little piece of information. It helped me so much. It was just one person. There's this guy named Jordan Schultz, and he actually said this. He said 90% of your activities you're not going to get anything from that. In other words, 90% of I think the content that you put out there, or maybe it's not the content, 90% of different lead generation methods, strategies won't work. They're not going to work, but you have to do them. I mean, he didn't say you have to do them, but I know you have to go ahead and do them, because it kind of gets you in the flow, and then you'll find out kind of what works, and then you can just spend more of your time over there. But as someone who is doing internet marketing for whatever business, you've got to be out there all the time testing and trying new things. And it doesn't mean doing something for 1 or 2 days. You have to get in, start a strategy, start working that strategy, and then you could stop for a moment, but then you have to like analyze whether, just look at it and say, am I being effective? Do I need to tweak this? Perhaps the method works. Perhaps something in what I'm doing isn't working out so well. But it was just, to me, it was such a great relief. It's allowing me to realize that it's okay. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep on doing the different activities I need to do, even though they don't seem like they're, bringing me what I'm looking for. And the idea that I can look at what I'm doing, evaluate and tweak. I think that's really, really important. Or look at it, tweak, try it, tweak, look at it again, tweak, try it, tweak, and then perhaps decide that it's just not a strategy that is working. It's not working. And there's so many variables. So a strategy that might work for one person might not work for another person. So that was really, really helpful for me to know, because I think what happens a lot of times is people start the strategy and then it just doesn't work immediately. So after a day or two, and it doesn't seem to be doing anything, they just stop doing it. And then that starts to put them in this like kind of downward spiral. And you've got to be really careful when, you actually have to be very cautious, because you're going into a danger zone if you try something and you don't really give it, the time allotted for that. So you have to ask yourself, have I really given it, everything? Have I really given it the time it needs? Have I really, you really have to evaluate it from different angles. And often the only way to really understand a strategy or how you're doing this work is to get in there and start doing it and start being with it. It's like, for me, athletics, I got in there. I was a very good athlete. I'm older now. I'm not doing as much. I'm wanting to get back into it. I'm going to get back into it. But what made me really good at being able to pick up different, how to do different sports and different activities and being very coordinated is that I got in there, and I was with it. I was I just did it over and over again, and you learn as you're doing it. But the main point, that really the tip here, this is a long video, I should shorten it. The tip here is this: just know going in that 90% of what you do won't end up working, and that's okay. You still have to go do everything, but it's comforting to know that you're not failing. That just that little part of that strategy, or perhaps the whole strategy, isn't working. So you can either tweak, or you can say, okay, that's it. This isn't working. I'm on to another strategy. I'm going to put my energy into something else. And that's all I have to say. Goodbye, everyone.